Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Ok, bueno, para los que se están conectando ahora, vamos a hacer este streaming en español y inglés, porque nuestra speaker, Rebeca, habla inglés, entonces vamos a tratar de traducir todas sus respuestas para que nadie se pierda la información. So, Rebecca, how are you?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to the holidays, and we are just, you know, trying to enjoy our life like everyone else.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
So, okay, I'm gonna try to explain you a little bit of the dynamic of this
Mhm.
interview. I'm gonna ask you the questions in English, and then I'm gonna translate your answers to Spanish for our public, so we don't miss any information about your conference, about yourself, and yeah, that's gonna be all. Um, we're gonna wait a little bit for people to connect to our streaming. And also I'm gonna give a little bit of information. So yeah.
Mhm.
Bueno, Rebeca va a estar en nuestro Congreso de Inteligencia Emocional, que se desarrolla el 1, 2 y 3 de diciembre. Vamos a estar esperando a que se vayan conectando para poder introducir a Rebeca. También no olviden que si tienen alguna duda al respecto del Congreso, pueden escribirnos por nuestras redes sociales, y si quieren registrarse al mismo, pueden hacerlo a través de nuestra página web, que es www.hpioficial.com. Así que, okay. So, Rebecca, now I'm going to introduce you to the public so they know a little bit, know about you, about what you've done in your career. So, Rebeca es una emprendedora de tecnología e inteligencia emocional que ha llevado a varias empresas más allá de valoraciones millonarias. Ha aparecido en Forbes, Open Forum, Success, Entrepreneur Inc. y muchas otras publicaciones por su pensamiento sobre el liderazgo e innovación. Su cuarta empresa, Culture Theory, se enfoca en cómo elevar la inteligencia emocional colectiva de líderes y equipos a través de talleres, coaching, consultorías y charlas. Entonces, vamos a iniciar esta entrevista con Rebeca, para volver a explicar y reiterar que primero se va a hacer una parte de la entrevista en inglés y luego se van a traducir las respuestas de Rebeca a español para las personas que prefieran escucharlas en español. So, Rebecca, I'm going to start now the interview. So, okay, so the first question I wanted to ask you was, what is the main reason that motivated you to become a trainer in emotional intelligence?
So my relationship with emotional intelligence goes back to 1995. And my story is that through a series of unfortunate events in my 90s, I was separated from my family. And I was really heartbroken. I didn't speak for a year. It was a really, really traumatizing time. And then a friend gifted me the book Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. And I felt like it was being handed the secrets of the universe, or at least it was the list of what I knew mattered. And it also helped me understand the problems I was having. Now, back then, it was super novel. Emotional intelligence wasn't new, but people didn't talk about it. And the subtitle even said EQ might be more important than emotional or IQ. And now we know 90% of a person's success is due to emotional intelligence. But back then, Goldman's ideas were just revolutionary. And my 15-year-old self was astounded. So I just did everything in the book. I started valuing, activating, and expanding my awareness potential, regulating my emotions, focusing on relationships, practicing gratitude. And I went quickly from being a subpar student to top of my class. I made good friends and I healed. And that was because of just one book. And so later in life, when I had 4 companies and I was an entrepreneur, and I still am, but now I do emotional intelligence work. I went back to that and I was like, what was important in my life? What changed my life? And the only thing I could think of was emotional intelligence. So in sort of the second half of my career, it's what I want to give back. And that's really important to me, and that's why I'm here.
Ok. Bueno, la pregunta que le hice a Rebeca fue cuál es la razón principal por la que se convirtió en entrenadora de inteligencia emocional. Rebeca nos cuenta que en los 90 aproximadamente pasó por un momento traumático en su vida en la que fue separada de su familia. Entonces, por esa época encontró el libro de Goldman, que es sobre inteligencia emocional, que a ella a sus 15 años la ayudó bastante porque estas ideas eran revolucionarias en la época. Antes se hablaba solo sobre EQ, y no se tocaba tanto el tema de inteligencia emocional. Entonces ella comenzó a practicar lo que el libro decía, lo que la llevó a ser una mejor estudiante, y ahora actualmente es emprendedora, tiene 4 empresas, y este libro le ha ayudado a eso, solo que ahora ya no lo aplica tanto para ella, sino lo aplica para darlo a los demás, a enseñar inteligencia emocional, para que todos también puedan obtener estos conocimientos. Okay. The second question I want to ask you, what work-related experiences would you consider that had added in your growth of your knowledge in these areas?
I have a million things in my head, but what I would say is that my career began kind of strangely in 2008 after the economy crashed. I had an MFA in film and I couldn't get a job. So people sometimes think that I'm an entrepreneur because I'm brave and I do all these amazing things. And I'm like, no, I couldn't get a job. That was it. And so what I did learn was, and again, emotional intelligence gives confidence. I had learned one program, Final Cut Pro, in grad school. And I had the thought, if I could learn one of these, what if I changed the story that learning technology was hard to learning technology gets easier every time you learn one? So I learned over 100 programs and I would teach people programs and then I would sell what I learned. And then I ended up a CEO of a big company at 28. And I could barely tie my shoes. But I did have the opportunity to learn really valuable things about being a leader. Just I had to lean hard on emotional intelligence to be a good negotiator, a good team member, to be trustworthy, someone people would follow, and to be excellent. And I think like learning that leaders are people that people choose to follow is a really important lesson. And now I've had 3 other companies and I still use those skills, but I think it was really valuable because it was all put to the test. And to be honest, I failed a lot. I failed at being aware in business. I yelled, I learned, I just did everything wrong, but I tried to only do it wrong once. And I think like being a CEO, and then now as a consultant, I see people just making the same mistakes I did. And hopefully I can get them, moving in the right direction. But yeah, I've needed it for everything I've ever done. I mean, really, I don't think we can separate emotional intelligence from our everyday experience. I just think some people don't have the language to call it that, but we all have it and we're using it all the time.
Okay. So, okay. La pregunta que le hice a Rebeca fue qué experiencias relacionadas al trabajo ella considera que han agregado su desarrollo de su conocimiento en estas áreas. Rebeca nos cuenta que ella empezó, bueno, esto no teniendo un trabajo y también por la necesidad de tener un trabajo, comenzó a autoenseñarse acerca de programas y para probar que, ok, ¿por qué estas personas no cómo de fácil es aprender programas y para personas que no tienen ni idea. Entonces ella comenzó a aprender sobre diferentes programas y luego vendía sus conocimientos acerca de cómo usar estos. Entonces ella empezó con eso y realmente poco a poco, gracias a este pequeño emprendimiento que hizo, se convirtió en CEO a los 28 años cuando no tenía mucha experiencia, pero ya tenía un poco de conocimiento en cómo seguir generando ventas, ingresos. Entonces, básicamente, esto cree que la inteligencia emocional es necesaria para la vida diaria, para la vida de todos, y eso es lo que ha aprendido, que quiere ser, ella ha aprendido estos conocimientos de ser líder y quiere que cree que la gente que ve a los líderes y quiere ser como ellos es genial, entonces ella también quiere hacer eso, ¿no? Apoyar al mundo y enseñar a través de la inteligencia emocional. Okay. So,
I wish I knew Spanish. I'm so sorry, everyone watching. This is my bad. I really should know it.
yo también lo siento, pero se hace lo que se puede. I'm doing the best I can, so
Yeah.
everyone can understand this. So, you tell me this story. I wanted to also know what motivated you to participate in our Congress.
I guess the truth is that I'm an emotional intelligence evangelist, and my goal is to connect with practitioners and spread the knowledge that I have and learn from others what knowledge they have. And so I take any opportunity I can if I have the time, because I think spreading emotional intelligence information is both the answer to societal ills and the secret to a better life.
Okay. Bueno, la pregunta fue cuál es su principal motivación para participar en nuestro Congreso y ella cree que es una evangelista de la inteligencia emocional y que siempre busca estar en contacto con los practicantes, con personas que les interese este tema para que ella siga explayándose, enseñando este tema para que todos puedan tener un poquito más de conocimiento sobre la inteligencia emocional. Okay, so now I'm gonna ask you some questions about your conference topic. So first, I'm gonna explain the public what's your topic. So, Rebeca va a estar en nuestra conferencia, en nuestro congreso, hablando sobre usa la inteligencia emocional para hacer de la gratitud tu superpoder. So, Rebecca, your conference topic is use emotional intelligence to make gratitude your superpower. So, why did you choose this conference topic?
A couple. Well, first of all, I have just such a love for gratitude in general. I just think it's this exciting thing whenever I'm sort of low on energy or I don't feel good. All of a sudden, I sort of have the little gratitude blinker go off and remember that I have a lot of power over my perceptions. And so I think a lot with my work and with clients and personally, one of the most misunderstood emotional intelligence tools we have is gratitude, and it's often forgotten. So I just want people to consider, what would it be like to maintain a long period of gratitude? What would their work look like? Their relationships? Are they a candidate for a grateful life? And of course, the secret is everyone's a candidate for a grateful life. So I'm hoping to give some tactical tools, but it's because gratitude is one of the only things I think that can really change somebody's life.
Okay. Bueno, la pregunta que le hice fue por qué eligió el tema de su conferencia. Y dice que tiene como que tiene un gran amor por la gratitud. Cree que es una de las herramientas de la inteligencia emocional que es más olvidada y menos tocada, pero que deberíamos tocarla un poco más. Porque ella siempre se pregunta cómo la gratitud puede afectar en nuestro trabajo, puede afectar en nuestra vida personal y cómo a través de esta podemos mejorar estas áreas. Entonces, sí cree que es necesario también a través de uso de herramientas, lo que nos va a explicar en su conferencia, cómo la gratitud puede ser importante en nuestra vida personal y profesional. Okay. So with that in mind, how would you define the term gratitude? What it means to you?
I think we often talk about gratitude as a passive feeling state. So if you get a present or you get something good happens to you, people feel
Mm-hmm.
gratitude. And I want to focus on it more, though, as gratitude as a powerful mind state. So gratitude, whether you're a person of prayer or not, it is a hope for a better outcome. And I have seen it make people's lives better. And so that is the focus that we will talk about, is how to cultivate that mindset, not as a theory or a philosophy, but just with practical tools.
Ok. La pregunta que le hice fue cómo definiría ella el término de gratitud. Usualmente dice que nosotros pensamos que este sentimiento de gratitud es solo cuando nos pasan cosas buenas, cuando tenemos un regalo, etcétera, lo que automáticamente sentimos es gratitud, pero ella lo ve como un estado mental poderoso en el que, bueno, si eres religioso o no eres religioso, pero es como una esperanza de que las cosas van a salir bien. Es una esperanza para mejorar la situación de las personas. Entonces, ella lo va a explicar un poco mejor a través de herramientas y a través un poco de teoría para que las personas puedan aplicar la gratitud en su vida. Okay, so that you mentioned a little bit of how important is gratitude in our lives. So, would you explain a little bit more about what benefits of developing our gratitude will give us if we eventually do it?
So a lot of literature focuses on happiness. People who practice gratitude have more happiness. I'm actually more interested in the resiliency factor of gratitude and how it protects us. It protects and builds resiliency and health, mental health, our relationships, and it can guide us on a better path. For instance, if I express gratitude, I get the hormone oxytocin, the bonding hormone, the happy bonding hormone that, moms get with their babies and people get with their pets. And when people are in love, I actually get oxytocin. It's one of the only ways that you can get it. And that will lead me to form relationships and be happier. If I express gratitude, I'm more likely to have better relationships. And in terms of health, even if you take a couple minutes every day to write down what you're grateful for, it results on average in 25% better night's sleep. So it's really, really powerful stuff. And everyone has the ability to practice it. It's just practice.
Ok. La tercera pregunta que le hice fue acerca de la importancia de desarrollar nuestra gratitud. Ella menciona que la gratitud tiene que ver mucho con la felicidad. Las personas que son más agradecidas, que desarrollan la gratitud, son más felices. Y también le interesa ver cómo este estado que es la gratitud nos da resiliencia y cómo nos puede llevar a tener un mejor camino. Y también cómo de alguna forma la gratitud nos lleva a generar oxitocina, que es la sustancia que se genera cuando tenemos mejores relaciones, como una mamá cuando conoce a su bebé o cuando estás con tu mascota, etcétera. Ella cree que la gratitud también te va a llevar a crear mejores relaciones, a crear mejores vínculos. Y bueno, eso. Okay, so um, okay, so having that, you have explained a little bit of how what is gratitude for you, and how would you teach what is gratitude. But how does this term influence the growth of our emotional intelligence? Like how gratitude can impact in our emotional intelligence.
Um, so I try and not get too theoretical, but with gratitude, it's sort of a strategic awareness. So if we look at the gamut of emotional intelligence, we've got awareness. Gratitude makes us more aware because we're noticing the things around us. It's just happening to try and notice the things that are positive, because there's always negative things to look at. And then in terms of regulation, gratitude is actually proven to regulate the neural frontal cortex. So people are actually literally more emotionally regulated, which is the second sort of area of emotional intelligence. In terms of motivation, gratitude includes a hope for a better future. You have to believe things can get better if you're going to be grateful, or what's the point? Doesn't make any sense. So it really does increase motivation in every person who practices it. And then we just talked about oxytocin and the bonding hormones. Gratitude also cements relationships and brings people together in a really profound way. Even, I think couples that they've done some studies with couples that practice gratitude within their relationship and just write down things they like about their partner, immediately experience a much better relationship. And that's available for everyone.
Ok. La pregunta fue cómo influye la gratitud en el desarrollo de la inteligencia emocional. Ella menciona que nos hace estar más conscientes de las cosas que están a nuestro alrededor, estratégicamente hablando, nos hace estar más alerta de nuestro entorno y al mismo tiempo la gratitud nos hace fijarnos en las cosas positivas, no necesariamente ver el lado negativo a todo, sino en estar agradecidos por las cosas buenas, pero también pensar actitudes positivas acerca de estas. La gratitud también nos hace creer que las cosas van a estar bien, nos hace esperar un mejor resultado de las cosas, de lo que hacemos, nuestras acciones, nuestras relaciones, etc. Y gracias a esto, la gratitud también está probada que une de manera más profunda a las personas. Entonces, básicamente, es todo este concepto que es la gratitud nos puede ayudar a, bueno, ser felices, estar conscientes de nuestro alrededor para aplicar mejor la inteligencia emocional y también para mejorar las relaciones con las personas que están en nuestro entorno. Okay, so what key aspects would you consider important to start growing our ability to be thankful? This in order to be to improve our emotional intelligence.
I think one thing I probably won't be talking about in my talk, but I would like to just say, I think patience is really important. It takes a while to rewire a brain, and it can be very hard. The brain is meant to protect you from change. And yet, if maybe you didn't have, if people didn't have uh, emotional intelligence in their family growing up, or gratitude, especially, like if they didn't experience that, it's going to feel kind of weird. And what I just want you to know is that any single person can change their behavior, anyone, and that you already have the capacity and everything you need to have a grateful life. So moving from a passive to active gratitude experience might require some new skills. It might be uncomfortable, but it will have rewards so fast, you won't have to be uncomfortable for long in it, and then it gets really fun. It becomes like a game. Like I will be,
Okay.
Something terrible will happen, and I'll just be like, okay, what can we be grateful for in this? And it's a nice way to live.
Okay. Bueno, le pregunté acerca de qué aspectos clave consideran importantes para empezar a desarrollar nuestra inteligencia emocional y también nuestra gratitud. Básicamente me dice que la paciencia es parte clave de todo esto, ya que es muy difícil reprogramar el cerebro, en especial si las personas no han crecido en un ambiente familiar donde se habla de inteligencia emocional, donde se habla de emociones, gratitud, etcétera. Va a ser muy difícil, ya que también el cerebro está programado para protegerte del cambio. Pero dice que no es imposible, sino que cada persona puede reprogramarse a sí misma a través de la práctica, de la paciencia, y que se puede convertir hasta en un juego, que cada vez que pasa algo malo, podemos agarrar y decir, ok, ¿de qué puedo estar agradecido? Para poder bajar el nivel del evento negativo y ser un poco más positivos. Okay, so my last question I'm gonna ask you, yeah, we're concluding this interview. How do you expect to influence our public through your conference?
So when I was first asked to join you and I started thinking about gratitude, first of all, I am so grateful to be participating in this. So thank you to your organization. And I could never translate on the spot anyone, so I'm very impressed by you. Never,
Thank
and not
you.
in English. Nope. Um, Even if it was from English to English. So thank you. So I would say that I was thinking about it and I was thinking, okay, so I've spent my life trying to live in gratitude, and there have been some times where I've completely failed, and there have been other times, but I've tried. And I thought, I've developed a lot of tactics that are just really little ways to add more gratitude in your life. So it's not some big change, it's just little ways. For instance, I'm going to introduce something that we use in our house to turn complaints into gratitudes, things like that, that really have actual applicable value. And that's all I'm really interested in doing is just even if one person shows up and they want to cultivate a grateful life, you know, like thinking, what could I give them? What tools and tactics to have that life? And I'm going to be sharing mostly those because I think that's what people need. We all know we all have a gratitude practice. We all know what gratitude is, but are there ways what can I do to help people grow their gratitude, I guess? That's really what I'm concentrating on.
Ok. Bueno, la última pregunta que le hice a Rebeca, y creo que sea también para ya concluir con esta entrevista, es cómo ella espera influir al público asistente a través de su conferencia. Eh, Ella menciona un poco que se pone a pensar cómo ha sido su vida con la gratitud y que mm, a veces ha fallado, a veces ha sido exitosa, pero siempre la ha tenido en mente. Entonces, ella lo que nos va a enseñar va a ser pequeñas tácticas que podemos utilizar cada uno para ser un poco más agradecidos en nuestra vida y que también nos va a mostrar herramientas que ella usa en su casa, que podemos utilizar en nuestras casas para que podamos desarrollar más la gratitud. Y que básicamente lo que ella espera es que no importa si se muestra una o 100 personas, que podamos ser más agradecidos con nuestra vida y desarrollar todo esto que involucra la gratitud para poderlo aplicarlo no solo en nuestra vida personal y profesional. Okay, we're done. So thank you, Rebecca, for being here with me. It was really a challenge for me to translate
Thank
this
you.
before, but yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
I'm probably not an easy person to translate either.
No, it's not you, it's me. But really, thank you for being here and also for being a speaker in our conference. Rebeca va a estar como speaker internacional, como los demás que hemos estado entrevistando la semana pasada y los que se vienen esta semana, en nuestro Congreso Internacional de Inteligencia Emocional, que se va a desarrollar el 1, 2 y 3 de diciembre. Para registrarse en nuestro congreso pueden hacerlo, como ya mencioné, en la página web, que es www.hbioficial.com. Y cualquier duda o consulta nos pueden escribir a través de nuestras redes sociales. Nosotros los vamos a responder con gusto. Okay, agradecer a todos los asistentes por escucharnos, por estar acá conmigo y con Rebeca. Thank you, Rebecca, again, for
Thank
being
you.
with us. Would you like to tell the public your social media so they can follow you or they can know a little bit more about you?
Yeah, so I'm one of the co-founders of Culture Theory, CULTUR Theory, THEORY, and that's culturetheory.io. And you can find us on LinkedIn, really, I think any social media platform. But you can also feel free to connect with me. I'm friendly. I'm really passionate about this work. So if you're here, you probably care about it too. So I'm Rebecca Devaney. You can find me on LinkedIn.
Okay, thanks. Rebeca, su empresa, que es Culture Theory, está en todas las redes sociales. Así que pueden seguirla ahí y también la pueden seguir como Rebecca Devaney en todas sus redes sociales. Okay, we're done. thank you so much, Rebecca, for being here with us, and I can't wait for your conference at the day of the event.
Very excited. All right.
Okay.
Bye,
Have a
everyone.
good have a good afternoon.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.